All right, it's thinking about it for just a sec. Let me make sure all my goodness is turned off.
I still got mine on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, mine's on leave me the hell alone. That's what mine's on. All right, here we go. All right, camera angles are a little bit better this time. I know the last time they were a little rough, like it was. Oh, we're gonna have to fix that real quick too. So, mute. Did that mute it?
Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
We're getting her. We're getting her. You'd think I would know how to do this shit by now, as I have another podcast, but no. All right, so what we're going to go over today is in stock. What does in stock really mean, right? And I've seen this from a few different places, and I really want to go over with our listeners, our customers, even other people that are our competitors. I think want people to know about, what does in stock really mean. Now, there's so many variables to barrels, right? Into actions and long action, short action, magnum, arc. There's so many things. And for little shops to be able to carry so many things, like you just can't afford it. Right?
No, because you can't always decide what people are going to be getting next.
Right, because we just went and sold a whole crap load of 224 barrels, and then all of a sudden it goes 2 months without selling another one, and we're on to 308s, or we're on to something else, and that's a big thing. So I think what people really need to know is what is the easiest way to get my hands on something that I'm looking for. And I guess let me back that up a couple steps, because I mean, if you look at, let's say, stainless barrels just in 308, you've got medium Palma, heavy Palma, M24, MTU, Comp Plus, straight, and then we go into lengths. The lengths are a little bit different in a stainless barrel because we can cut them to whatever length you want.
Yeah.
But that alone just gives you that many options, that many things. And then you add 10 twist, 11 twist, 8 twist, 9 twist, whatever twist you want. And there's no way to be able to put that many on the shelf.
And especially in 308, because there is those 3 different twist rates, that so many different variables, from 308 Win to 30-06 to 300 Win Mag to 300 PRC. It's going to take different ones.
Right. So I think a lot of people need to understand, like, okay, I want to build a 300 PRC. I want it lightweight. I need to keep my options open as far as what I want to order. And a lot of times, like, if somebody will place an order, we'll call them and we'll say, hey, I saw that you ordered this, but I have these in stock because we were selling a whole bunch of these, right? Or, like, a lot of people don't understand that in most cases, heavy Palma weighs the exact same as M24, right?
Yeah.
So depending on if you want the look of a Palma, or we can switch you into an M24, then you can do it. But I guess everybody kind of needs to realize, when we say in stock, yes, there's barrels in stock, but with the variations, we can't control that. There's just too much, right?
Yeah, we might not have exactly what you're looking for.
But a lot of times we can push you into a direction. And one of the big things is, we've got the new chat service on the website. We've got the email. We've got phone calls. We've got different ways to ask the questions, like, hey, this is what I'm trying to build. This is the bullet that I want to shoot. Is there something that maybe you guys could do a little bit faster? And to that point, now we get into the specialty barrels. So we have our in-stock ones that we keep rotating all the time. Now we get into specialty barrels like the Bartlines and stuff, and it's super hard for us to be able to carry 4 or 5 manufacturers. It's almost, there's no way to do it.
Yeah.
So we get into the Bartlines, for us to order one and to get into revolving your 6 months plus. But here's the problem. If I go order 20 MTU 30 cals and we sell 2 of them, then what?
We got a whole bunch just sitting there, not moving anywhere.
Right. So that's the hard part, is for us to try and plan what we're even going to be selling, because we don't know. I mean, going back to, we just did a whole bunch, a big run of 223s and then nothing.
We kind of moved into 6, and now it seems like we're picking up on 30 cal. right now
Right.
on the last order. So
And you know, it is hunting season, and there's a lot of things going on there which could affect what, you know, maybe in the spring it goes more back into whether it be coyote season or competitive shooting or whatever you're getting into. But the thing people, I guess, need to understand in that side of things is if you're going to order a specialty barrel, it's going to take a minute. Yes, they say in stock on the website, but that's just because it's hard for us to control that. You know what I mean?
yep, yep.
So if somebody's calling you trying to get something, what are you recommending?
One of the things is I want you to kind of think about what do you want to do with the rifle. You know, we got a lot of steel barrels to where if you're getting a bench rifle, we've got definitely good options. Stuff for 300 PRC, like I said, we've got some good 30 cals in now. Know how far you want to shoot, you know, what you're going to shoot. Make up your mind as well, because I mean, if we have it in stock and we get you into something, once we get started, it's going to be having a hard time for changing your mind on it. A lot of people sometimes are thinking, oh, well, maybe I wanted this or maybe I wanted that. Know what you want. That's important. You know, we're going to help guide you to that. And we've got a lot of 7 cals, we got a lot of 6.5s, we got a lot of 6s. But like I said, it's just what are you going to want to do with this rifle? And that's going to help get us quicker into what you're going to have.
Yeah. And I think one of the other big things is people, you know, drag your feet and you're like, well, you know, I can wait, but okay, wait. And we might not have that barrel again for 3 to 6 months.
Yep.
You know, and that's a big thing is if you're going to make up your mind and you're going to go for it, go for it. A lot of our stainless barrels are sitting on the shelf now. And if a lot of people haven't realized this yet, we do all the machining ourselves, right? We don't buy prefits from other companies, put our name on it or anything else. If we buy a Bartlein carbon, it's a blank. If we buy a proof carbon, it's a blank. If we buy a stainless barrel, it's a blank. You know, and we're starting to be able to contour and do a lot of things, which is going to speed up these wait times and these lead times, but we're still a little bit out
Yeah, we
from being
got some
able to
time on that, don't we?
we got to be able to fully control that, and we want them perfect, right? Like everything else we want to do, we don't want to screw up whether you see it or not. But let's kind of go down the rabbit hole of carbons for a minute. What people don't understand there, that's a whole nother one, right? The SKUs on carbons is horrendous, and the biggest reason is to our fact of we can take a stainless barrel and I can cut it to whatever length I want. We can't do that with a carbon.
Yeah.
If you want an 18, we got an order an 18. If you want a 20, we got to order a 20, right? And it is super hard to be able to control that. And luckily we've came into, you know, some talks with some great distributors that hold a lot of these in stock for us that we're going and getting out. Like right now, we've got a bunch of 284 22s in. We've got a bunch of 30s. We've got a bunch of stuff. And we, as Straight Jacket, have never had like a big selection of in-stock stuff, but we've been pushing really hard in that direction, right?
Yeah.
So I guess on the carbon side, what are people looking for? Like what have been the ones that have been the most moved through in your opinion?
I would think when it comes to 7s, it's a 22-inch, and they're doing 7 PRCs. You know, that's one of our biggest ones. Or if you're wanting to do like the short action 7s, like saws and SAWs and everything, they're going more into the 18 to 20-inch. And, you know, the twist rates are pretty decent on 7s. It's 1 and 8 pretty much works for everything. So that helps us out pretty good with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into the 6.5s. I mean, a lot of 20s, a lot of 22 inches because people want to suppress them. But you get the difference between the 7.5 and the 8 twist. So that's something else that we have to try and decide, hey, you know, what are these people going to want? Because most people, the average is going to be a 1 and 8 twist, which works for everything really great. But then Cole talks about specialty barrels. Well, I need the 7.5 because I'm going to shoot the bigger bullets and everything. We can't always guess that. So mostly you're going to get 8 twists in. Then with our 6s, you know, we got the 7.5s. We got mostly 18, 20-inch barrels that people want to get in there. And that's usually what we stock up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everybody's kind of getting away from the 26s. Like we might do 1 or 2 26s for every 20 of everything else. Everybody's kind of going to the short, you know, faster cartridges, push them a little bit harder, trying to get that out of it. But the carbons are definitely a little bit harder. Like if you look at a Bart line, if I were to order the Bart line and you know, listening to what we've just said, being able to try and control this, the Bart lines, depending on length and twist and everything else, they can be 12 to 14 months.
Yep.
So it's something, if you know you want a Bart line or you want one of these. Now there are companies out there that stock them, but they don't stock, to that point, they don't stock a lot because they can't control, or they don't know what they're going to sell either.
Yeah, they can't hold on to them either. I mean, because they're not cheap.
No.
I think people don't understand. You don't make as much money off these custom barrels as you think we would be making. So that's where it's hard to decide, okay, I'm going to hold these in stock. But if you're holding on to them for a year, you're holding on to a lot of money, even with 5 barrels.
Right. So if you know you want a benchmark Bart line, any of these that take a little bit longer, you need to start planning ahead as to like, hey, in 6 months, in a year, this is what I want. And granted, you can go to other places if you find it, and you can send us the blank, and we have a chamber and thread service. So if you're in a super big hurry, or you can just wait, for us to get your barrel, and then we can control everything. We can do the shipping. We can control it coming in and out. You don't got to worry about getting lost somewhere or anything else.
Okay.
So there's definitely different things to think about when you're ordering a barrel to send it in, or whether you're just ordering from us. Now, one of the big things that we've been selling a lot is barreled actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're in a different place right now. We're able to control a lot of the actions. We've got Curtis's in, we've got Kelby's in, we've got Impacts in, we've got a lot of stuff in stock that if you want to do it. But if you want an arc bolt face, if you want it left-handed, if you want it 223, if you want it, that adds a whole nother level of a wait time. And a lot of what we've tried to do on our website, and I'm going to pull this up for you guys that are going to watch this, is you can, let me pull this up. You can see our barreled action and lead times page. And we're trying to update this as we go. We know, hey, if we've got a bunch of steel barrels in, it's going to cut down. Depending on some steel barrels were 2 to 4 weeks, others were 8+ weeks. It just kind of depends on where we've got it. But the lead times are definitely a lot shorter than they've been here in Straight Jacket. And I think a lot across the board for a lot of companies, they're shorter. But there's a lot more options now than there ever been. There's more actions coming out every day, and we can't carry them all. It's just the nature of the beast. There's too freaking many actions.
Yeah,
and we've had this conversation 100 times. Like, I think we need to shorten the amount of actions that we carry and only offer a certain variety of actions, right? So that's a big thing that we've been thinking about. Now we've got the SIGs, now we've got Tikas, now we've got custom full threads, now we've got, some other stuff that we've never offered, but we've got to kind of step back and decide where we're going to invest that money as well. As, yes, I don't carry X action, but here's an action that is very comparable to it.
Yeah.
That would work, like the Falcors. We sell the heck out of the Falcors and the lighter actions, the Kelbys, the Nooks, and a lot of these. And then if people want the quick changes like the Curtises or the Terminuses, or now we've just picked up another company we're going to work with on those to try and make sure that we get those lead times out so that customers, everybody's not waiting. Because I like to call it, and I've said it 100 times, I call it the Amazon effect, right? We all get in the habit of waiting for our 2-day turnaround, but it still doesn't work like that. Not in the firearm side. There's too many options, too many variables. We're not billionaires that can afford to do this.
We're doing our best, but we can only go so far, right? And then there's only just a few of us here, so trying to hold too many things, it's really hard for all of us to keep that under control, keep stock, know how much we got, what we do have, trying to get all that. It's a lot of numbers for just a few of us to take care of, so that's why we're trying to get it down to certain ones. And what we're holding is going to be perfect for quick change, for lightweight, everything that you're looking for. What we'll offer is going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, everybody's just kind of got to be open-minded coming into this. Like, I like the questions when they come in. Okay, I want lightweight. I want this caliber. What do you recommend? And then we can point you in a direction and get you something a lot faster than if you were to come in and say, I only want this action. I only want this barrel. Well, now we're going to be a while. But if you can be open, lead times are definitely a lot shorter with the opening. You know, okay, I wanted a heavy Palma, but we have a bunch of MTUs. Well, they're going to be a little bit heavier, but I'm only just really shooting with it. Okay. Or you're going the opposite way. Well, I want a heavy Palma, but I want it super light, like a medium Palma or a 3B or something like that. And we don't necessarily as much of those because a lot of people go to the carbons, but that's going to be what's nice about us being able to control contouring is if we have a bunch of
Absolutely.
blanks sitting here, we can contour. We're going to have the ability to flute here pretty soon. We're going to have the ability to really cut these lead times down. And what people don't see behind the scenes is the amount of money and time we're investing into trying to make it faster because we want people out there shooting our stuff. We don't want people going anywhere else, and investing in the whole portion of it is the big thing.
And we understand the value of not having to wait too long makes people want to come back. We definitely understand that.
Hmm.
And it is hard. It's hard to get there, but we are working our butts off to do it.
Yeah, I mean we've come light years in the last couple years from there's no way we can deliver this in a couple weeks to now we've got plenty of stuff we can deliver in a couple weeks.
Yep.
We have manners on the shelf, we have actions, we have barrels, we have triggers, we have stuff that we've never had before all sitting here. So we just kind of wanted to throw this video together real quick, throw it up to be able to answer some of the questions of how do I get stuff faster? And the whole point of it's call in and let's see what we can do faster. And sometimes we're not magicians. We can't pull rabbits out of our hats.
Nope.
As much as we want to, we can do it.
But if you call in, I mean, we can start looking around. We can see, hey, what's out there. We can say, hey, this is what I've got. Maybe this would even be better because sometimes you might not realize there's another contour that might actually be better for what you're going to do with it. So call us, let us know, email and let us know.
And to the point of what is a lead time, I guess the big thing is, and I kind of want you to tell them your version of this, but they change. They're variable, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So to explain kind of what you've been seeing lately with the issues going on with lead times.
A lot of people, they want me to say, how long is it going to be? And then I say, 8 to 12 weeks on some things because I know, hey, this barrel sometimes takes us a little longer. And they're like, well, I mean, then they come off, well, you said 8 weeks. Understand, I'm giving you generals because I can't always decide what they're going to do. Now, if I have it in stock, I can tell you, yeah, it's going to be 2 to 4 weeks because I know this is coming onto the shelf. It's going to be running through. That's how I know that that's going to be a lot tighter. With some of the barrels, I mean, we can't tell, like, I want a Bartline this. They're going to be 6 months plus. People say, well, can I have a better general idea of that? Well, that's hard for anyone to tell. I mean, they're backed up. They got their workload. They couldn't even tell you that because they're just trying to get it out as fast as they can. But they're one of those companies that ain't going to send you out a bunch of crap. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, appreciate it a little bit that it might take a little longer. But we're all doing that because we're trying to make sure that you're also getting something that's going to work, going to shoot good. And so I always do my best to get you a good idea of what it's going to be, but also sometimes something might happen at the manufacturer where it pushes them back a little bit, or something happens here that it pushes it back a little bit. And a lot of the times, most of the time, we're able to actually get in faster than what the lead times say, even if it's something that we have back order. So, I mean, stainless steel, 8 to 10 weeks. Carbon fiber, 12 to 14 weeks. Sometimes those push out, but most of the time it's quicker than that. And lead times, they're frustrating for you guys. I get that. I'm one of those people that are impatient. And so I'm big time on the Amazon effect where, I ordered it, I want it now. And I'm learning from here is that we do our best to get you a general idea, and we stick to that pretty good, if not better than that. So sometimes, I'm just asking for patience, when we are trying to get you general lead times as best we can do.
Right. And here's a couple things that we've seen lately. One of our dealers had an issue with one of their measuring things on 243 barrels, right? And they went to try and find one, and they were 4 or 5 months back, and sadly they hadn't planned ahead for having the issue. So then it, it trickles down to us, and then the customers get mad. Well, you ordered 243 barrels. Well, now that they're on order, I can't just switch, because if I switch, we restart it all over again.
Yep.
So there's just things that we can't control. Nick, a reamer blew up the other day, and we're like, crap. Now what? And we always try to have extras of everything, but we can't. With the amount of reamers we've got, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So we called our provider there, and they're like, oh yeah, it'll be 3 or 4 months. We're like, oh crap. In a lot of scenarios, like I am the one, I hate owing people things. So we went and hurried and found a reamer at a one of our friends sent us a reamer in, and we got the barrel done. Or hey, there's a barrel that's going to cost me a little bit more, me personally, but I know I'm going to get the customer filled,
Yeah.
and they're not waiting a whole lot longer. But in some aspects, we can't be miracle workers.
No.
So this whole episode is just pretty much to say, please be patient. We can't control everything. We're trying our best. Everything is ordered. I make sure everything is ordered within 2 days of it being ordered with us.
Yeah.
Everything is ordered. So it's not that it hasn't been ordered. It's been ordered. One of our suppliers right now is an absolute shit show at getting us lead times.
Mm-hmm.
They've given us lead times. They extend them. They change them. They don't respond. There's too much out of our control.
Yeah.
But the best thing is, please call us, work through it with us if there is an issue, and we'll try to make it right. Stay off the interwebs, type thing. Don't go drag it through the mud, but we're doing our best.
Yeah, and sometimes, like you said, we have suppliers that'll end up with something in there, and after you've gone quite a while waiting for some of these, if we see, hey, this is in stock, Cole picks it up, he gets it in here. Mind you, those barrels are still on order, so they're still coming to us. So, I mean, that's going to put them on stock again, and then we still have to sell those, because that's what we're trying to do to make sure that you don't have to wait too long for any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what helps us also get overstock. So when you do call in, you might find a BART line that was extra. You just never know unless you call in.
All right. Okay, well, hopefully this has answered some questions for you guys and gals that are listening, and we are trying to do our best, hence one of the reasons why we're sitting here doing this, so we can explain ourselves better. So if you've listened this long, thank you for listening. We're going to start bringing other people in. We'll have Nick in, we'll have some other people, but if there's stuff that you have questions about in the building world, in trying to understand how rifles are done or barrels or anything else, let us know. And if we can't answer it, I'll go find somebody that can. Super simple, but for the most part, we can answer everything. So I appreciate y'all for watching. We'll put this up on the thing. And as always, how do they reach us?
You can call us at 435-462-1607 or email sales@straightjacketarmory.com.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.